Shadore Sanders doesn't chase excuses. He doesn't cry about taking snaps with practice squad linemen or blame fourth-string receivers for dropped balls. He doesn't plead for understanding when the odds are stacked against him. He just laces up, locks in, and shows why he's been that guy his whole life. And on day 3 of Brown's training camp, with the sun high and the pressure even higher, Shadore finally got something resembling a real opportunity. Second-team reps in an 11-on-11 period, 8 plays, 8 chances to remind the league who he is, and he delivered like he always does. Smooth footwork, tight spirals, a laser down the seam to tight end Blake Whiteheart that left the sideline buzzing. No panic, no hesitations, just command. And yet, it's not just the throw that defines the moment, it's the silence that came before it. Because until now, Shadore Sanders has been stuck in football limbo, a star since high school, a titan in the SWAC, a primetime draw at Colorado, and now, a 5th-round pick buried on a depth chart behind a Super Bowl MVP, a former first-rounder, and another rookie who hasn't touched half the adversity Shadore's faced. Yet still, no fanfare, no favor, just whispers and waiting. But here's the thing, Shadore's not built to fold, he's built to evolve. He's been preparing like a pro since before he got drafted. Study, sweat, silence. While others chase headlines, he chases growth. And on this muggy Cleveland morning, he spoke the only language that matters: execution. Every decision was sharp, every read precise. He looked like the guy, not just a guy. You saw it instantly, the difference between Shadore throwing to actual NFL receivers versus practice squad fill-ins. Suddenly, the offense had rhythm, flow, identity. This wasn't a quarterback learning on the fly. This was a quarterback who'd been ready, just waiting on the call. But Shadore's journey is more than depth charts and practice reps. It's about perception, because the NFL didn't open the gates for him like they did others. There were no welcome parades, no breathless hype, just constant doubt. And when he got hit with 2 speeding tickets, 91 in Brunswick, 101 in Strongsville, those doubts turned into condemnation. The headlines came fast: immature, irresponsible, not ready. And then came GM Andrew Berry's press conference. Not smart, he said. It's not about speed, it's about endangering others. Was it deserved criticism? Sure, but also convenient, because worse decisions by other rookies haven't drawn this kind of scrutiny. This didn't feel like concern, it felt like a message. Yet Shadore didn't lash out, didn't make excuses, just owned it. I definitely learned not to drive fast, he said. I follow the rules now. That's growth, that's accountability, and still, no grace, no benefit of the doubt, just noise. But while the headlines screamed about tickets, Shadore was out in Cleveland, showing up for people who had no idea what pick he was taking. He wasn't at the ESPs. He was at Rainbow Terrace, handing out supplies to families displaced by a fire. No cameras, no agents, just intention. It's something I feel like God put me here to do, he said. That's who he is, a servant leader, a man of the people. While critics labeled him arrogant, he was listening, learning, growing, and still, no recognition, no credit. But that's never been what drives Shadore. He's not chasing viral moments, he's chasing trust. The kind that starts in locker rooms, not on highlight reels. While analysts count his snaps, he counts details, protections, cadence, defensive tendencies. He writes down every play the night before practice, reviews every throw, watches film when others are resting. He even uses virtual reality to simulate reps he doesn't get. That's not just preparation, that's obsession. And through it all, no complaints, no bitterness. Not about being QB3, not about being QB4, not about being ignored. He's been overlooked before. He knows the script, but this time, he's rewriting it. Because while other rookies pout, Shadore connects. With the offensive line, with the DBs, with staffers and vets and undrafted guys just trying to make it. That's intentional. That's strategic. That's how you win hearts before you win games. But 3 days into camp, and one question still lingers like fog over the facility. Why hasn't Shadore Sanders taken a single first-team rep? Not one. Joe Flacco gets his looks. Kenny Pickett gets his reps. Even Dylan Gabriel cycles in. But Shadore? Nothing. Silence. Head coach Kevin Stefanski won't explain. Quarterback coach Bill Musgrave, an old teammate of Deion Sanders, won't advocate. It feels calculated. Like the Browns know what they have but aren't ready to admit it. Like acknowledging Shadore would disrupt their hierarchy. But here's the truth, they can't hide it much longer. Because every time he's given even a sliver of opportunity, Shadore doesn't just play, he elevates. There's a quiet intensity to everything Shadore Sanders does now. When he's not getting reps, he's not sulking, he's watching, absorbing, taking mental reps like they're live bullets. Every defensive alignment, every motion, every call, he's studying it like it's his own. And when his moment finally comes, there's no drop-off, no adjustment curve. He's already there. That's the difference. That's why the locker room notices. Because you can't fake that kind of preparation. He's not just trying to impress coaches. He's trying to build trust with men who've been through battles. And he's doing it the only way that works, by being consistent. Quietly, Shadore is becoming the guy teammates believe in before the coaches even figure it out. But what makes it even more telling is how silent the staff remains. Stefanski has said nothing about Shadore's performance. Musgrave won't tip his hand. No praise, no acknowledgement. Just a wall of tight-lipped professionalism. And maybe that's by design. Maybe the plan is to keep him simmering under the surface until they can't hold him back any longer. But the truth is, Shadore doesn't need hype. He's writing his story through action. Day by day. Rep by rep. And the pages are turning fast. You hear the subtle shifts in the locker room. Guys talking about his timing. How he calls out blitzes before the snap. How he adjusts protections like a vet. How he sees the field like someone who's already been through Sunday wars. These aren't things you teach overnight. These are instincts refined through experience, through pressure, through fire. And yet, the public narrative is still trailing. Still stuck on 2 speeding tickets. Still clinging to tired tropes about maturity and readiness. As if any of that speaks louder than what's happening on the field. As if leadership is measured in interviews, not in how a team rallies behind a guy who hasn't even been officially given a shot. But maybe that's why this is all working in Shadore's favor. Because while others get hype only to fall short, Shadore is building a resume that's undeniable. When the opportunity comes, and it will, it won't be a surprise to anyone who's been paying attention. It'll be confirmation. Because the way he's moving through camp, the way he's mastering the small things, it's clear. He's not waiting to be handed the keys. He's already mapping the route. And when the Browns finally look up, they'll realize the guy they've been overlooking is the one who's already taken control of the wheel. The most dangerous player on any roster is the one who's underestimated but fully prepared. That's Shadore. Every late-night film session, every extra rep, every silent nod from a veteran is building a case stronger than any press release. And it's not just about performance, it's about presence. Shadore walks like he's supposed to be there, not with arrogance, but with clarity. Like a man who's been forged in expectation and molded by pressure. Like someone who's been counted out so often, he's learned how to thrive in the shadows. That's why the silence from Stefanski and Musgrave doesn't faze him. It only sharpens him. They can withhold praise, they can delay the spotlight, but they can't stop what's coming. Because every practice, every drill, every small window of opportunity, Shadore makes it louder. He forces you to notice. And soon, the Browns won't have the luxury of ignoring it, because fans see it, teammates see it. The city is beginning to whisper what the staff won't say out loud. This kid might be the real deal. Not because he says so, because he shows so. And when you combine that with everything he's doing off the field, when you weigh that against how he's being treated in comparison to others, it becomes impossible to ignore the imbalance. 2 speeding tickets turned into national scandal. But where was that energy when he was helping families recover from fires? Where was that coverage when he was showing up without cameras to serve the community? It doesn't trend. It doesn't fit the narrative, but it's the truth. And that truth is beginning to seep through the cracks. Because real recognize real. And in a league where leadership is everything, Shadore is quietly becoming a foundational presence. No headlines, no marketing campaigns, just substance. And soon it won't be about when he gets his shot. It'll be about how long they can keep pretending he's not ready. Because even if the coaching staff is content to ride the politics, the locker room sees the truth. And in football, trust in the huddle is more powerful than anything written on a depth chart. When Shadore talks, guys listen. When he drops back, the offense settles. That's not hype, that's chemistry, that's culture. And it's growing, whether the staff acknowledges it or not. So here's the final truth. If the Browns want to keep playing it safe, they can. They can stick to the plan. Give reps to the vets. Keep the hierarchy intact.